In this video, we're going to have a look at how to calculate the volume of a sphere. Now the formula to use when we're calculating the volume of a sphere is volume is equal to 4/3 of pi r cubed. Now a couple important parts to note is that we're talking about the radius of the sphere, not the diameter. So if the question gives you the diameter, before you can calculate the volume, you need to divide the diameter by 2. And the other key part to note for the volume of a sphere is that when we have the radius, you are cubing it. So you're not squaring it like we do with area, but for volume, we are cubing it. So let's have a look at some examples of how do we use this formula to calculate the volume of a sphere. So in the first example, we want to calculate the volume of the sphere. And the first thing we're going to note is that they have given us the diameter of 1.4. Now before we can calculate the volume, we need to find the radius. So using the diameter, the radius is going to equal 1.4 divided by 2, which is equal to 0.7 meters. So it's important to make sure that we have the radius and not the diameter before we start doing our calculation. But now that I have the radius, I can go ahead and calculate the volume of that sphere using the formula. And the first step is going to be write down the formula. So volume is equal to 4/3 times pi r cubed. And remember that is cubed and not squared. The next step is to substitute in our value for radius, which is 0.7. So that's going to equal 4/3 times pi times 0.7 cubed. Putting that into a calculator, we can get a volume of the sphere is equal to 1.44 meters cubed. So the volume of a sphere with a 1.4 meter diameter is equal to 1.44 meters cubed. So let's have a look at a second example. So in the second example, we want to find the volume of a semisphere or half a sphere. So we can do this by using the same formula and dividing the answer by 2. Now before we start, I need to check whether I have the diameter or the radius. And in this example, they're given us a radius, which is equal to 18 millimeters. So I don't need to do any additional calculations before I can start finding the volume of the shape. So my first step is going to be write the formula. So volume is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed, and I'm dividing that by 2 because it is a semisphere. So next I'm going to substitute in my radius value of 18. So 4/3 pi times 18 cubed, divide that by 2. So completing my numerator in my calculator, that would give me an answer of 24,429.02. And I need to divide that by 2. So the volume of my semisphere is going to be 12,214.51 millimeters cubed. So that are a couple of examples of how I can calculate the volume of a sphere.